The clock hasn't just run out, it's been smashed. President Trump's 10-day extension for the Hormuz siege expires this Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and Iran has officially rejected all US and Israel negotiations. And the smart money is no longer pricing a maybe, we are pricing in a kinetic or even a reality. So, while retail traders are still hoping for a ceasefire, institutional decks are rotated into Stagflation 2.0. Today, we break down the whys for the G8 hierarchy has fundamentally shifted and why your quarter one strategy is officially obsolete. Not entirely, but we'll actually look into that. So the delta this week isn't just oil, it's data. So last week NFP came out very solid. Okay, so proving that the US economy is actually the only one still breathing. The Bank of England is already dovish, and to save that dying goods, I don't know how they're gonna do that. In this regime, the USD isn't just a currency; it's a yield fortress. So this Wednesday, we are expecting New Zealand Bank to hold rate. In February, they ended with easing cycle after they ended their easing cycle after a 3.1% inflation surprise. They are patient, but the humorous shock might force their hand. Technically, now let's just look into executions. I'll be looking at about 10 outlooks, okay, for the week, and probably might say throughout the entire month. And this is the Dixie. What you can see here is Dixie is, to me, is bullish, and everything. The NFP also concluded that it's bullish. For this reason, I look to short the AUDUSD. So this was the outlook I gave out some last week. But I expect price to go deeper. This is too it's too short. So I would expect this. I'll look at this. Now the reason why I'm looking for short is because we are shorting the AUD despite the high rates. It's a growth beta victim. So if the strike happens, AUD is supposed to dump. Not entirely dumping, they're still hiking, yes, but it's the oil is still affecting them. And the next currency I'll be looking at is NZD-USD in terms of the USD pairs. Okay, so why am I looking at NZD-USD this way? Let's take a look at this. I've been talking about this short, yes, but the price hasn't mitigated this area 0.5794 area for short. So if market open comes and I see this come to this demand, I will be looking for longs into this point for a short, because there might be a little twist to it on Wednesday if the RBNZ surprises a hawkish tone. On Wednesday, the Kiwi has the most to catch up potential, okay, against the Euro, against the Yen, and all that. But also, I'll be looking at GBPUSD. Okay, so this is due to the pound weakness, very bearish on the pound. Looking at it from a weekly perspective, previous weekly candle is just a weak bearish momentum candle. So we are looking at D1 supply. And while looking at this, there's no clear D1 supply here for me. So what we expect is on Monday we should see the drop, and then a pullback, and then we short. That's what I'm seeing for the GBPUSD YD. We have this structure break here, so I say expect one bearish leg lower. And the same equivalent goes to the USDCAD. Now note the dollar is the strongest on board, so I expect price to break one more push candle, a momentum candle, and higher. So you can see the analysis came out clearly. I told you this supply was not supposed to hold, and that's what I'm seeing on the dollar. So looking at the oil, yes, I talked about oil strength. So I'm looking at oil. I'm looking to long from here. I gave this information out last week, so I expect a pullback here to keep on longing. That's what I'm looking at for oil. You know, Iran are still, they rejected the US negotiations. So I can't recall the word they used, but it's not acceptable. So this is what you'll be looking out for. And for I also have other current pairs like the NZD JPY. Let's look at this. Now this NZD JPY, this is where I will look to take some longs to this supply. Why? Because this supply is the supply I expected price to mitigate and drop. Okay, but let's assume that the NZD, the yen is weak, and then I might see longs from here, and then we might see a short if possible, or price rallies. Also, this is a lower low, this is the lower high, so potentially I'm looking for a lower low to push price to a lower high. The euro might be weaker in terms of stagflation and all that, but NZD seems to be also weak. This looks like a good short area to long to go higher. It's just a view. So, but I would like to, if price hits here on Monday or Tuesday, I would like to long. But if it heads into the supply first, I'll short to long. Depends on how the market structure is being formed. The EuroCAD, let's see. Yes, so there is a demand here, a very beautiful demand. I would like to long this. Now the reason is because of CAD is not showing enough strength even when oil is going higher. I might long this, but there is a potential of me shorting this more than longs in terms of the market structure. So let's just take a look at that next week. I have my Euro Swiss. Now I'll prefer this better. You know, we took this longs last week, so I expect price to head into this supply one more time, just one more time, and then we might short. But my highest probably short area is this other supply. That's where I would love to short my Euro Swiss from. And one of my highest probabilities is this, the BTC. Yes, we can see the BTC has been ranging. This was the area I talked about short, but I would prefer price to come to this other supply and then we short massively. This will be a higher probability setup for me. So this, I have been looking at this longs for quite some time. I did not expect this push. This is a lot of push. So what I would expect on this is I would expect a longs from this point. If price should pull down here next week, then I'll look to long this to this target. But if I see a push higher one more time and a pullback, I would long to this point and probably beyond. That's it, because on the 3 months chart, if you look at this carefully, the previous candle is a candle that needs to be filled. So that's why I'm looking at this. So I expect a high on the FTSE. So basically, this is all I would look at. And for the yen strength, if you're looking at yen strength, I think the pound yen looks better in terms of yen strength and also pound weakness. So there is a supply here. If price heads to this point and gives a clear signal for a short, then yes, we can short this due to yen weakness, although the yen is actually quite bearish. So the market expects a strike. If it happens, this setup should actually accelerate, and if there is an 11th hour miracle, yes, the reversal will be violent. Stay objective, manage your risks, and don't trade the narrative. Trade the expectation. I'll see you at the opening bell.